We are live on YouTube.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to the February Town Board meeting at Islip Town. I would just like to ask Councilman O'Connor if he would please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Well, as we all know, February is Black History Month. And here in the town of Islip, we are proud to continue recognizing Black history throughout the month of February and each day throughout the year, quite frankly. Albeit a little different this year because of COVID, we still recognize and laud the diverse cultures and heritage of our residents. And Black History Month represents the opportunity for all of us within the town of Islip to celebrate the many contributions of its neighbors, volunteers, and professionals who help to enrich the town because of its diversity. While COVID-19 continues to place limitations on many facets of our lives, our town is honored to share in the importance of Black History Month and encourages all to pay tribute to the accomplishments of our diverse neighbors year-round. On behalf of the town board, I'm proud to share Optimum's free online experience celebrating Black history. This interactive educational tool provides an opportunity to explore some of the lesser-known stories about the Black experience and inspire conversations about social justice. This free resource, appropriate for ages 12 and up, includes 4 10-minute lessons as well as an optional essay contest for middle and high school students. Please visit our website at islipny.gov, our social media platforms, or Channel 18 for more information. Last week, we saw our first major snowstorm of 2021 and even more snow again on Super Bowl Sunday. All of us here at Town Board want to thank all of our crews, parks, public safety, and DEC for coming together last week, working around the clock to clear our 1,200 miles of roadway so that first responders and EMS vehicles could respond to residents' calls for assistance. They came out on Sunday to do it all over again. They've done an outstanding job under the direction of our DPW Commissioner, Tom Owens. I'd also like to give a shout out to our Public Safety Commissioner, Tony D'Amico, and his team for reminding residents to move their cars off the road ahead of the storm. And to our DEC Commissioner, Marty Ballou, and his team, who also pitched in to help with the cleanup operations. We can't stress enough the importance of moving the vehicles off the road into your driveway during a snow emergency. And if necessary, if there's no room in your driveway, put it on the lawn. It's a violation of town code to leave your car in the road during a snow emergency. And all of us got calls about neighbors who were upset that the road wasn't cleared as good as it could be because their neighbor left the car out in the road. So we're not interested in being in the business of finding people, especially when they're in the midst of dealing with a storm or a pandemic for that matter. However, the situation presents a safety hazard, and it's not fair to residents that aren't getting that curb-to-curb plowing experience because a neighbor insists upon leaving their car in the road. So we're asking residents and business owners alike to also be mindful of keeping your sidewalks clear in a snowstorm, especially if you're on a walking route for school, if you've got a bus stop on your corner. It really, really is important to keep that clear. So having said all of that, the one thing I do want to remind everyone is that we are still in the midst of COVID. Please, please be careful. Continue to wear your masks and be mindful of others, and please, please be safe. So let us move now to the agenda. And before we do, I just want to remind anyone who wishes to address the board on any of the public hearings or on the board up and cleanup resolutions to please either use the raise hand function on Zoom or type into the Q&A line. And please be specific about which particular hearing you wish to speak on. And to remind you, you have 3 minutes. So having said all of that, we will start with our 7 public hearings for the board's consideration. And I would ask the town clerk to please read the hearing notice. Olga, if you would.
Okay, thank you. Today's first hearing is to consider amending the Town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code as follows. Schedule G, stop and yield, Schedule L, town parking lots, and Schedule J, parking, stopping, and standing.
Okay. Do we have anyone speaking on this?
No one has signed up to speak on it.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we close the public hearing and offer the resolution for its adoption.
Second.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Olga, number 2.
Hearing number 2 is to consider a new contract with the Bay Shore Fire District for the year 2021 to provide fire protection for the Bay Shore Fire Protection District.
Are there any questions on this? Hearing none, motion?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and approve the change in the contract.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed?
Recuse.
We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion is approved. Item 3.
Number 3 is to enter into an agreement with Brentwood Legion Ambulance Services, Inc. to provide ambulance services to the Brentwood Legion Ambulance District.
Any questions on this hearing? Hearing none, I'll make that motion. Second.
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed?
Recuse.
We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion is adopted. Next.
Number 4 is to consider entering into a contract with Community Ambulance Company to provide ambulance services for the Sayville Ambulance District.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion.
I'll make that motion to close the public hearing and adopt the changes.
We have a motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Recuse.
And 1 recusal. Item 5.
Item 5 is to enter into an agreement with Exchange Ambulance Corporation of the Islips to provide ambulance services to the Exchange Corporation Ambulance District.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion to close the hearing and approve.
We have a motion by Councilman Cochran to close the
Second.
hearing. Approved. Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 6.
Number 6 is to consider entering into an agreement with the Bay Shore Bright Waters Ambulance Company to provide ambulance services to the Bay Shore Bright Waters District.
Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and adopt the resolution.
We have a motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. And the last item?
Item number 7 is to enter into a contract with the Central Islip Hauppauge Ambulance District for the year 2021 to provide emergency ambulance services within the district.
Any questions? Motion?
Make a motion to close the public hearing and to enter into the contract.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by, was that you, John?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Okay, I think that takes care of all of the public hearings. It does. Okay, let us move then to item number 1 on the agenda. The meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. We have a motion to convene
Motion to convene.
by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman
Second.
Cochran. All those in favor, opposed, the meeting is convened, a quorum being present. John, if you would.
Thank you and good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the agency board. I'm John Walzer, Executive Director, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip, New York. I have several items for your consideration today. The first item for your consideration is the approval of the minutes from the agency board meeting on January 12th of this year.
Any amendments to the minutes? Hearing none, motion.
Motion.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor, opposed, approved.
Next item for your consideration is an inducement resolution between the agency and Supplement Manufacturing Partners at 1 Rodeo Drive in Edgewood. This is a vitamin and supplement company. They're expanding into a 24,000 square foot facility from their current facility of 12,000 square feet. They promise to add at least 28 new jobs to their current roster of 22.
Any questions? Hearing none, motion.
Motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, I'm sorry, and second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor, opposed, approved.
The next item for your consideration is a resolution authorizing a one-year extension of a contract between the agency and SMM Advertising.
Any questions? Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor, opposed, it is approved.
And the next item for your consideration is a resolution authorizing a one-year extension of a contract between the agency and AVZ Accountants.
Any questions? Motion. I'll make the motion, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor, opposed, approved. John,
And the last item for your consideration is the awarding of another round of grant funds under the COVID-19 Emergency Grant Program.
any questions?
Motion approved.
Motion. Motion by Councilman Cochran,
Second.
second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor, opposed, approved.
That's all I have for you.
Okay, no other business to come before us. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn
Motion to adjourn.
by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, we are adjourned. That takes us to the meeting of the Town of Islip Economic Development Corporation. Motion to convene that meeting
Motion.
by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, the meeting is convened, a quorum being present. John, if you would take us through the agenda.
Thanks again, Madam Chair, and members of the Corporation Board. John Walzer, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip, New York. The first item for your consideration is the approval of the minutes from the board meeting on January 12th.
Any questions on the minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor, opposed, approved.
And the last item for your consideration is a resolution authorizing a one-year extension of the contract between the agency, between the corporation and AVZ Accountants.
Any questions on that? Hearing none, motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, approved.
And that's all I have for you.
Okay, motion to adjourn
Motion.
by Councilman O'Connor, second by I'll second that motion to adjourn. We stand adjourned. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Let us move now to item 3 on the agenda, the board up and cleanup resolutions. Taryn, if you
Good
would
afternoon,
take us through that.
Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, members of the town board, town clerk, Taryn Jewell, Assistant Town Attorney, 655 Main Street, Islip. Number 1, to board and clean up the premises located at 10 Shember Road, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsecured rear door, an unsecured shed with overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Hearing none, motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those, Councilman Cochran, I'm sorry. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 2 has been withdrawn.
Okay.
Number 3, To board and clean up the premises located at 19 Ackerson Street, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsecured front and side door with overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion to approve.
I think Councilman Cochran made that motion, second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 4, to board and clean up the premises located at 35 Orange Street, Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors with litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 5, to clean up the premises located at 38 Nostrand Ave, Brentwood. On this property, there now exists overgrown vegetation, litter and debris, unregistered vehicles, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises, and I believe we have speakers on this.
Yes, we do have a speaker. Stephanie Rosier. Stephanie, if you will, you may address the board. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, yes, good afternoon. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. I did submit a summary of just what I wanted to go over this afternoon. Essentially, this is just an update. As I previously had informed the board, our mother suffers from severe mental illness. Our sister has been in touch with our mother, Linda, about this matter regularly, and it appears she was able to remove 2 of the 3 vehicles on the property. Our understanding is that New York State does allow 1 unregistered vehicle that may be legally stored on the residential property, which it is. It is not in the roadway or blocking any kind of transit, including garbage or plowing or clearing. She has cleared a lot of the garbage and is making real progress. I previously submitted to the board pictures providing that she has made significant progress with cleaning up of the property. Essentially all efforts, even through the snows, she has continued cleaning up the property. I did provide photographs showing that she's still putting out a substantial amount of trash and making real commitment and progress to cleaning up the area. But she is, a 71-year-old woman who is doing this on her own. Unfortunately, myself and her daughter and son, we all live in different states. And for various different reasons, we can't get down there to help her, specifically with the COVID-19 restrictions. My husband, in fact, is a high risk, so he cannot travel in this capacity. So she is doing it all on her own, unfortunately. She did get a dumpster, filled it up, and it provided a lot of photographic evidence previously to the board just to show that she is making every effort. But with the unseasonably heavy snows, she does need additional time to continue with the cleanup, even though she has been cleaning up through the snow. So we're just asking for additional time to allow her to bring it up to code. I'm not sure if at this point the progress that she has made has been substantial enough for the board, but you can see from the photographs that we provided that she did take the notices seriously. It is making every effort to get it up to code. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this? I know we gave them a month. This is a cleanup resolution. So Taryn, explain what would happen exactly. Would we not send someone in to clean it up?
We would send our DPW department in to clean it up. And any, I know she had mentioned that New York State allows unregistered vehicles. Unfortunately, our town code does not allow any unregistered vehicles, so they would all have to be removed. But with the snow, I don't know when DPW would be able to get there, but if you pass it today, they would have a notice to proceed.
Any questions or comments on this? All right, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion, second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this. It sounds like it might be an easier route for this woman to actually have DPW go in and do it. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it is approved. Taryn, you want to go on to the next one, please?
Sure. Number 6, to board and clean up the premises located at 108 Shinnecock Lane, East Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists a second-story window unsecured, a hole in the soffit of the garage with overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Are there any questions?
Aaron, is he a repeat offender? I think this is every year this comes up and then gets gets neglected. Is this an ongoing thing for the your department?
It is. We have a few properties on today, actually, that the resos had been over a year, so that's why they're back on. But we have a few repeat offenders today.
Okay, we have a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 7.
Number 7, to board and clean up the premises located at 142 Tabor Street, Brentwood. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors with litter and debris and an unregistered vehicle, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises, and I believe there's a speaker.
Yes, there is Sean Howland. If you can hear me, you have 3 minutes. Sean?
Hello?
Yes, you may begin.
Okay.
If you would
Thank
just
you.
if you would just state your name and address for the clerks for the record. please.
Certainly. Sean Howland from McCalla, Raymer, Liebert, Pierce, 420 Lexington Avenue, Suite 840, New York, New York 10170. Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, members of the Town Board. My office represents Senlar Mortgage Servicing. We received notice of today's hearing just this afternoon, so I hope you'll indulge me if I'm not too familiar with this property. As I understand it, there is some vegetation. I just heard the town attorney speak about an unregistered vehicle, and it appears from the notice that we received of today's conference that there was the property is also unsecured. I would ask for an adjournment to the town board's next meeting so that we can look into this. I know there's several parties that received notice of today's hearing, and frankly, I'm not sure that my client is in first position with their mortgage. I believe that there may be a senior mortgage, and statutorily, I believe they would bear responsibility for cleaning up and rectifying the issues identified. Otherwise, I'll of course counsel my client that if they do have statutory responsibility to clean up this property, that they go ahead and do so. But at this point, it's not clear. We're still in the investigation stage, if you will.
Taryn, when did these notices, thank you, sir. When did these notices go out?
About 45 days to begin the process. This actual notice for this town board hearing goes out at least 2 weeks prior. I might agree with him, though. He might not be the representative of the actual owner of the property. So even though he signed on today, I don't think he would be able to have his client complete the work as a mortgage company.
So,
May I ask a question?
Certainly, Councilman O'Connor.
Taryn, we've had this in the past where property owners or those with an interest in the property have expressed the request to do the cleanup before we do. And in the past, we have passed the resolution with the understanding that they'd have about 2 weeks. And if they did it, they could contact you about the remediation efforts they took before a lien was placed. Is that accurate? Do I recall that correct?
We have done that in the past. I will say with mortgage companies, they have to put out bids, so it usually is much longer than 2 weeks. So we pass and give them 2 weeks, and it's usually not done in that amount of time. I'm not saying that's what would happen here, but that's the usual case.
Well, particularly where the individual who called in probably isn't even first in position, as he indicated, right?
Exactly.
So I have a question.
Certainly, Councilman Bergen.
So Taryn, did we notice the wrong mortgage company?
No, we give notice to anyone that has anything on the title report. So this mortgage company just might not have the first lien. There might be another one that's on. I don't have unfortunately, the title report right in front of me.
Okay.
But there's usually multiple banks that are noticed for these meetings. I'm going to say there's usually about 10 to 12.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
We have a motion, second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Thank you. Item 8.
Number 8, to clean up the premises located at 230 Seaman Ave, Bayport. On this property, there now exists a downed tree limb with litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises. And again, there's a speaker.
Okay, we'll move to the speaker, Andrea Roberts.
Hi, yes, how are you? I'm in a similar situation as the last speaker.
Okay, if you would please give your name and address to the clerk for the record.
Yes, my name's Andrea Roberts. I'm with the law firm Blank Rome, and I represent the mortgage holder HSBC Bank.
Okay, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
I actually was just notified of this notice earlier around 11 o'clock this morning. I have reached out to my client and directed them to take appropriate steps to remedy the nuisances on the property. So I would also respectfully request a short adjournment to allow my client to take the steps. I believe it's mowing the grass. I think there's some litter and debris, at least on this notice. So I don't anticipate that taking too long to rectify, and it would be at the expense of my client as opposed to the town.
It's my understanding it's not grass that needs to be mowed, not at this point anyway. It is the middle of winter, but there are substantial limbs that are down. Is that right, Taryn?
That's correct.
And this property is for sale at this point?
It is. And we've actually been in touch with the actual property owner multiple times. I know the fire marshal has had talked to her. And I know she's trying to sell the property, but the main issue was the downed trees and the overgrowth of vegetation.
Right.
She did complete the grass cutting. I do know that.
Right. Okay, any questions?
And I have a question. There's some sort of a structure, Taryn, in the backyard that looked like it may have been half a shed or something.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be part of it as well.
So right now it's just a cleanup, not a board up. But if the fire marshals want to go further, they could pass a different resolution for that, but that wouldn't be part of the cleanup.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 9 has been withdrawn as it is now in compliance. Number 10 has also been withdrawn as it is now in compliance. Number 11, to board and clean up the premises located at 1116 Brookdale Avenue in Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsecured in-ground pool and hot tub with litter and debris, which constitutes nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion?
Supervisor, I just have a quick question for the town attorney. Taryn, it appears from the second or third photo that there is a pool there. Do you know, is there a cover on that pool? It's hard to tell because of the snow condition.
So originally the fire marshals had said it was unsecured from the snow. I can't tell either. And I know Fire Marshal Doucette and I spoke about this. They're going to reassess it once the snow melts and then see if they have to go forward with it. But right now we are asking for that to be part of the board up if it's passed.
Okay, great.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, approved.
Number 12 has been withdrawn. Number 13 has been withdrawn as is now in compliance. Number 14, to clean up the premises located at 1649 Verizon Avenue, Bohemia. On this property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion to,
Supervisor, again, I have another question.
Certainly. Councilwoman Mullen?
So Taryn, is this, as Councilman Cochran noted before, is this a repeat offender?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks familiar, so thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, it is a familiar address. All right, so who made that motion? I'm sorry.
I did.
Okay,
Second.
Councilman Bergen and second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
And finally, number 15 has been withdrawn as it is now in compliance.
Great.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you very much, Sharon. Okay, we will move to item 4, meeting of the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Board. A motion to convene
Motion to convene.
by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, we are convened, a quorum being present. Brad, if you will.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, members of the Foreign Trade Zone Board. My name is Brad Hemingway. I'm the Executive Director for the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Authority, and we're located at 1 Trade Zone Drive in Ronkonkoma, New York. 2 items for your consideration this afternoon. First item being the approval of the minutes from our December 15th, 2020 meeting of the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Board.
Any questions on the minutes? Motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, approved.
Next and final, approval to authorize us to enter into a sublease agreement with 101 Roebling Court LLC for parcel 10, 101 Roebling Court, Ronkonkoma, New York, 11779.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Before you leave, Brad, I just wanted to mention earlier today, Ignite Long Island had a Zoom conference. And for those of you who may not be aware, it is an advocacy group on behalf of manufacturing on Long Island. They're quite active, and it was a very robust discussion and had a lot of key players on the Zoom conference. And Brad was asked to give a report on the foreign trade zone. And I just wanted to note that he really did a very excellent job of explaining what the foreign trade zone was about, how it all works. And I wouldn't be surprised if you don't get a number of phone calls.
Thank you, Supervisor. We've gotten some emails already. I was very happy. Thank you.
Yeah, great, thank you. We sometimes take it for granted that, you know, in our town, we have an airport, we have a foreign trade zone. We're really quite blessed.
Great. Well, I'm doing my best to get the word out.
Great, thank you. Let us move now to item 5 on the agenda, which is town board approval to designate Ecoverse Industries as sole source for the drum tools, throwing rakes, and replacement parts for the Black House 860 utilized at the compost facility. Any questions? It sounds exciting.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Next, town board approval to designate QED Environmental Systems as sole source for manufacturing, sales, repair, and distribution of the VIA Sensor DEM 5000, SEN 500, and GEM 2000 products utilized at the Blydenburg Road landfill facility. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. And next item, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an extension of the professional services agreement with the Faithful Friends Veterinary Services, PC. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next, authorization for the supervisor to enter into a 4-year no-cost contract with Suffolk County Department of Health to accept rabies vaccines for the town of Islip's free rabies clinic. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 9, authorization for the town of Islip to adopt the solid waste management plan for planning years 2019 through 2028. This is as a result of the hearings that we had earlier on this. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 10, authorization for the supervisor to file an application for a state grant in aid for a household hazardous waste state assistance program and signing of the associated state contract under the appropriate laws of New York State for years 20 through 2022. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 11 are the bid awards. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by
Second.
Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 12 are the option year resolutions. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 14, authorization for the supervisor to extend the agreement with Calais America to provide support and maintenance for the multi-space parking management program. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 15.
We skipped over 13. Skipped
Oh, I
over
am
13.
so sorry. All right, let me find that.
The appropriation transfers,
Yep.
or transfer, I should say.
Up, it was so skinny, it stuck. Item 13 are the appropriation transfers. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by
Motion to approve.
Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Now we will go to item 15, correct? We did 14. Yes. Authorization for the supervisor to sign any and all documents required to procure telecommunications connectivity services through OGS contract number PS 68694 with Crown Castle Fiber LLC. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by
Second.
Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 16, authorization for the supervisor to sign the professional services agreement with NPA Computers, Inc., extending the continued maintenance and support services for town equipment. Any questions? Motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Next, we go to item 17, authorization for the supervisor to execute agreements with the Suffolk County Board of Elections, authorizing their use of various town facilities as official polling places in June and November 2021 and June and November 2022 for primary, general, and/or special elections. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion to approve.
A motion by Councilman Bergen, second by
Second.
Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 18, authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept funding from Suffolk County Office of the Aging for the continued provision of a nutrition program to deliver meals to town of Islip senior citizen residents. Any questions on that? This certainly has been a very robust program throughout this pandemic. And due to the efforts of the CDA and some funding they got through CARES Act and HUD, we were able to secure a refrigerated van, which will really facilitate the delivery of these meals to our homebound seniors in particular. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 19, the appointment of Dale A. Gross as a member of the Plumbers Examining Board. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 20, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement exercising the first option term of 2 years with Fire Island Ferries, Inc., permitting Fire Island Ferries to utilize docking facilities to provide passenger ferry service, water taxi service, and ferry freight service between the mainland and Bayshore and the Fire Island Terminal at Atlantique. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 21, authorization for the supervisor to execute a professional services agreement with Allied Account Services, Inc. for recoupment of outstanding judgments. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 22, authorization for the supervisor to exercise the third-year option year to the contract with Oxford Airport Technical Services for repair and maintenance on the baggage delivery system at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions?
Motion.
Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 23, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to consider amending the Islip Town Code, Chapter 68, zoning. Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Town board approval of the list of names and titles of individuals who are required to file a financial disclosure form with the Board of Elections. I guess the adoption of this. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 25 is the acceptance of a donation of 10,000 pieces of protective masks designed to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 coronavirus infection from Liberty Masks. They're a company right here in the town of Islip. Motion? I'll make that motion. Second by Council Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 26, the adoption of the retention and disposition schedule for New York local government records for municipal governments. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second.
Second.
By Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Town board approval to reschedule the time of the 2021 change of zone hearings to commence at 5 p.m. Works a little bit easier for staff that's already in the office. Any other questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. And I think that does it. Is there any other business to come before us? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Please stay safe. Be careful.